was a costly lesson in not over.
Hey guys, Kane here, and I just want to make a quick video because a lot of you guys have been asking, how do I live stream? What do I use to live stream? So this video should answer all your questions. So make sure you watch until the end because I'm going to try to give you guys as many tips as possible so that your live streams can be great. Alright, so first things first, let's hop over to my desktop here and let's get me out of the way. So now this may look crazy, this may look like Inception right about now, but I'm probably going to pop my logo over here so it's not in your way so you guys don't get distracted. But this is XSplit. If this is the first time you're seeing XSplit, it may look very confusing, but in actuality it's not. So down here in the bottom right, these are your scenes. So these are basically layouts that you can have set up for different games or for different whatever. Let's say you want to have a down here, you want to go ahead and right click on one of the scenes and that will pop open the scene editor. So let me move this out of the way. So now you have your scene editor. This is where you will be doing all the scenes and adding in all the content that you want. So right now it's blank, there's nothing in here. The first thing you'll want to do is go down here to add. So let's say you want to add in your game footage and that's all you want to add. You go down, you go to game capture, and usually you can put it on auto detect. Auto detect will automatically detect, just as it says, most games. And so you should just click on auto detect. Whatever game you're playing, XSplit will pick it up and it will start. It will show you the game, and then you can start recording. Let's say you want to add in your webcam as well. So down here you go to add webcam capture card video devices. You're going to click on your webcam. So I have a Logitech HD Pro. Click on that, and there I am. Here I am again, guys. So that is how you add in your webcam. Now you can go ahead and you can resize this. So if I want to make myself smaller, I can make myself smaller. I can move it around. You can do anything you want to do with that. So I'm going to move myself right here, over here in the bottom right. So let's say you have someone made you an overlay. Someone made you a nice graphic that you can put on your live stream. You want to add that as well. So go down here to add again. Add media file. So this is where you can add in all kind of media files. Sorry about the beat. Add in graphics, add in overlays, anything you have on your stream that you want to put in, you can add it here. So let me see, where is my overlay? I don't even know where it is. This is one of the overlays that I had made when I was doing a lot of Splatoon on YouTube. Now this information is old, so I don't use it anymore, but let's say I want to add this in here. So you see I can resize it. Okay. And now, but oh, wait a minute, my camera is not in the right place now. So let's move that out of the way. These little check boxes down here, you can just simply click on that and it'll go out of the way. And now I can move my camera up a little bit and try to fit it into that little box there to make sure that it's in the right spot. So there we go. We're almost there. Almost there. There we go. Well, that's good enough, folks. So now when I'm live streaming, this is what you will see with this scene. You will see my overlay, you will see me in the bottom right, and then the game will be in the middle. Now with the game, you can also resize that. So if I get all this out of the way, now you just have this. So this is where the game, see this moving around? This is where the game will be. So I can resize this so that it fits in the little box on my overlay. Or if I don't have an overlay, let's say I'm just recording my game or just showing the game, I can just resize this to take up the full entire screen. So just drag it on out until the white box is covering the full screen. So now when you're playing a game, it will be full screen. It won't have any boxes to the side or anything like that. So if we go back to here again, you guys see me. This is a scene that we can save, and it will always be there. We can easily click to it and click from it. Okay, so that is pretty simple. We're not going to save this scene because we don't really need it. But again, if you want me to explain scenes again in more detail, I can. But it's pretty simple. Again, you go down here to add, and you just add in what you want. You just drag it around so that it's in the layout that you want. Alright, back on my desktop. So now, you know about scenes with XSplit. What you want to do is your options. So when you go over here, let's put the screen back so you guys can see. When you go over here, you're going to want to click on broadcast. This is going to show you options for streaming on Twitch, streaming on YouTube, and also just doing local recordings. So this is how you configure all of that over here where it says broadcast. Now, what you want to do is to configure a live stream, and there will be an option that says add live stream or something like that. It says something about adding your channel. Yeah, adding a channel. You want to add a channel. The channel is either going to be Twitch or YouTube Live. So I have both set up, even though I normally stream on YouTube nowadays, but I did have Twitch set up in the past because that is where I was. But for YouTube, let's click on the YouTube settings and see what we have here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the settings gear by YouTube, and it pops up this little box over here. Sorry about all these beeps. I know that's annoying. It pops up this little box here. So these are the main settings that you're going to be looking at when you're streaming on YouTube. Now, a lot of this probably does not make sense at all. You know, what codec do we use? The bit rate, the mode. You know, what's all this information talking about? I have no idea. It's probably what you're saying, but you're going to know because I'm going to show you. So let's hop over to our browser really quickly, and we're going to type in YouTube streaming settings right here. YouTube streaming settings. Type that into your browser, your search engine, Google, and the first thing that should pop up is live encoder settings, bitrate resolution. Click on that, and that takes you to this wonderful page which gives you all the information you need to put into XSplit. So here's a rule of thumb. Here's what I recommend. If you're going to be doing live streaming, I recommend you stream at 720p 60 frames per second. You may be asking why. Because, okay, so first of all, streaming at 720p 60 frames per second, that looks great, and that will also allow a majority of people watching your streams to actually be able to watch it without buffering a lot. So if you stream at a higher quality, you need a higher bit rate. Bit rate is basically the quality and the download rate of your video. So let's say you have a 10 upload. Okay, if you have 10 upload, and let's say you set your bit rate to 10 because you want to use all your upload for whatever reason, that means that the person watching your stream has to have 10 download reliably to be able to watch your stream. Now, not everyone has fast internet, and not everyone even has a computer that can watch 1080p without, you know, freezing. Some people are using older laptops. Some people are on their phones that don't have access to 1080p, you know, older phones. So to make everything enjoyable and viewable for people, I use 720p at 60 frames per second because one, I can stream at a lower bit rate, which means that the person watching it won't have to download as much information without buffering, and two, 60 frames per second makes it look great, and the 720p allows pretty much anyone the ability to watch it. A lot of phones as well are moving up to the 60 frames per second. YouTube put out an update for their app, so a lot of phones are able to watch 60 frames per second as well. So let's click on these settings because I'm talking a lot. Let's click on the settings. So here you will see the settings that you want to put in if you want to stream at 720p 60 frames per second. So it says recommended 3800 kbps. Okay, so that is the bit rate that you want to put into XSplit on that screen that I just showed you. So let's hop back over to this screen. So here we have this screen. Okay, so for the encoder, we're going to use X264. Okay, and we're also going to use for the bit rate 3800 because that is what it recommends. You can put it higher, you can put it lower, but just putting that 30 recommended is great. Now, so one of the I may have mentioned this before, the reason why I use XSplit is because is paid, first of all, so they're always updating it with new features and different things that will allow you to stream better and also allow you to record your videos better. So one thing that they added in recently is something that they call adaptive CBR. And what that means, let's say you're streaming and everything is going fine and dandy, is great. You're not dropping any frames or anything like that. Dropping frames means that your connection cannot keep up with what you're trying to put out. Okay, so you'll drop frames and then your stream will start lagging. So let's say you're streaming and everything is going fine, but now your little sister upstairs is watching a bunch of YouTube, or maybe she's uploading something to YouTube, or whatever, other people in your house, or something is going on where you're not getting your full upload capability. What adaptive CBR will do is it will actually lower your CBR to compensate so that you will not drop those frames and people won't have that experience of your stream buffering and slowing down and skipping over those frames. So that is a really neat feature that XSplit added in, which is only in XSplit right now, which will help you when you're streaming, so you don't have to worry about it. If whatever happening around you and you can't stream as well, it will automatically adjust for you. So we have those settings set. Let's click on the gear here and you can see where you can activate adaptive CBR. So you just click on the little checkbox there. You can have that set. You don't really want to mess around with any of these other things because they're set at an optimal level. With this, don't really mess around with it because that can really mess up your quality of your stream. It can put a stress on your CPU if you set it for the wrong thing. The default is very fast. All this is, what this is saying is how fast is your CPU, okay? But it's in reverse. So think about it like this: if you set it for ultra fast, that means you have a very slow computer, okay? And you need the encoder to work fast so that your CPU won't be stressed out, okay? But if you have a really super beefy computer, you can set the encoder to slow. So that means that the encoder will work slower using more of your CPU, but because it's working slower, quote unquote, the quality is going to be much higher. Because the quality is much higher, that puts more stress on your CPU. So again, it's kind of reverse. If you have a very, very, very slow computer, you can set it to ultra fast. If you have a super fast computer, you can set it to slow. But the default is very fast, and it works perfectly. I don't see any reason for you to actually change it. So we have the settings now. The settings are great, and we can actually start streaming right now because you've already linked your channel. So like I said, click on broadcast, and you'll see settings. You'll see options to link your channel. So you just log into your YouTube, and then you'll be able to link it up. We set our settings here. Okay. So we have our bit rate, we have our codec, we have our modes. Audio, we want to have that set down here. It tells you what the audio is down here. Okay, so down here, it tells you need to be at CBR. You see, that's why we're at CBR. It tells you need to have audio bitrate is 128. So if we go back here, you see the audio bitrate that I have is at 128. So that's where I got that from. So we have all the settings. We grabbed all the settings directly from YouTube. Okay, so now the next thing you want to do, like I said before, you want to make sure you're streaming at 720. So how do you make sure you're streaming at 720 and 60 frames per second? Again, we're in Inception here, but you want to go up to View, and then you'll see where it says Resolution. Because I'm recording right now, I can't actually change it, but I can, if I wanted to, I can simply change this to 720p, and then for the frame rate, you can change that to 60. Because I'm just doing a regular video without gameplay footage, I have it set to 30 and 1080p. If I were recording a game, I would have that set to 1080p at 60 frames per second. So that's where you change that, the resolution and the frame rate. Okay. Then once you have that set up, let's say you want to make your video now. So let's hop over to YouTube. Okay. And what I like to do, this is my YouTube main page here. What I like to do is you want to go over to click on the upper right here. You want to click on your Creator Studio. And then you want to click on where it says live streaming over here on the left. Alright, so you have to have this enabled first of all. So if you don't have it enabled, you want to go over to your channel settings. Okay. and then you should see something in here down at the bottom where it says live streaming. Make sure you have that enabled. You should have that option to you available. If you don't, then your channel is not eligible to live stream. And if you don't even see this page, that means your channel. That means you need to partner your channel with YouTube in order to have extra features. Okay. So again, we're gonna go over to live streaming, and then we're gonna go to events. Now you can do stream now if you have that option available. Stream now is pretty good if you just want to hop on really quickly. It just live stream at a drop of a dime. But events will allow you to set up an event in advance. So let's say I wanted to stream tonight at 7 p.m., which is what I usually do. I would just go to schedule a new event, and right here is where you can set the time. So today at 7 p.m. and we're just gonna call this test stream. All right, and then we're gonna make this private because I don't want it to be shown. So we're gonna have it set to private. Here's where you can set the description. You can set your keywords, whatever you want to have in there. You can go to your advanced settings. So here is something important here. So first of all, you want to have enable live chat clicked on so people can actually check.